Schindler has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance!
It's been 53 years since Huddersfield Town won away at Preston. This has been the warm-up episode 93 Preston preview. Thanks for joining Tom and I.
Would that be the shortest podcast in history if we put that out there and then?
Oh, maybe, yeah. We could
do it and get in the Guinness Book of Records.
That would be good. It'd be good to have, and then we could say award-winning podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, record-winning. That sounds better. Yeah, no, Tom, it's like that cold that everyone seems to be getting at the moment. You can't get rid of us that easily. We are here. We are going to preview this Preston game. If it kills us, welcome to the warm-up episode 93. It's Brady and Tom back once again. Tom, how are you?
I'm not bad, Brady. It's that weird time, in it, before Christmas where I just don't know what's going on.
What, with yourself, with the world?
Yeah, with the town, everything. Yeah. It falling on a weekend is a bit weird, isn't it? Like, I think that's what's messing with it, because it's like we're in the run up to a weekend, but it's Christmas weekend, and then we're gonna have some football on a Monday. Is it a Monday? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Monday afternoon, somewhere that we love going as well.
Indeed, the old Deepdale. Yeah, no, I'm with you. It does feel odd, but then again, like, I think it's the World Cup as well. To be honest, like, it just feels odd. Like, like,
is there a World Cup hangover? Do you know what I mean? Like, we've been treated to watching the best players in the world kick a ball around for a few weeks, and then it goes back to, well, yeah, Huddersfield Town versus Preston North End.
Well, to be honest, I went to the Watford game at the weekend, and I think I definitely had to put up with that if it meant. I mean, I got to see probably the best World Cup final ever the following day. So worth it, I suppose. But you're right. Yeah, it does feel weird. Obviously touched on the Watford game quickly. We are the preview, not the review. See what I did there. But Tom, anything you want to say about that game? I suppose it's just the same things again.
I mean, I actually thought first half we'd looked all right. So second half though, it was like an attack and defense training exercise. It felt like for them, the amount of chances they seem to be creating. Oh, it's just I know we don't have the financial backing to compete with them, but in that second half especially, it's like we didn't even have the bodies. The scales were different levels, weren't they? And I still think there are a couple of positives to take out of that performance, but it's weird that you can go in at 0-0 half time, and then it wasn't even like we lost because we went out to attack and go for a win. It was just really a disappointing second half. How did you find it?
To be honest, right, and this kind of summed it up for me. I agree with you. First half, I was like, we look all right here, like playing all right. Although Watford had a couple of chances, and I don't know how they didn't get a penalty. And then I went down to meet James and like some of our friends, and I'm going to shout him out. Burrows, he said, he was like, yeah, Town played really well first half. This has got, but you know what's going to happen? Watford are going to come out second half and score in the first 15 minutes, and that happened. And I just like, when it happened, I just turned to my stepdad and I was like, "Oh, fucking hell, it's right." So yeah, no, I think that was it, isn't it? It's just like, just feels so predictable, doesn't it? I was chatting to, I think I was in our like podcast chat. I think I said to Cozzy, it just kind of feels like a second Prem season where it almost feels like there's nothing we can do. But yeah. Anyway, nice cheery start to this preview.
Yeah.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to? I did a little bit of digging. Do you want me to try and bring some positivity?
What with
Proceedings
Preston?
with
With stats
Preston?
against
Yeah.
Preston? Go on, good luck.
Okay. Right. Okay. So they're seventh in the table coming into this on 34 points. They're out of the playoff places on goals scored currently with QPR having scored 5 more. That's not the positive. The positive is, Tom, they've lost their last 2 home games.
Oh,
But so yeah, they since coming back from the World Cup break, they won 4-1 away at Blackburn, but they lost 1-0 last time out to QPR. So
yeah.
they have lost the home games, Tom. I feel this would be typical Town to win at Preston finally when like
What a
with
season
no
that
one's
a
yeah,
season that will get relegated from the Championship as well, probably.
yeah. What I don't know. What do you think? I just feel like no one, absolutely no one from a town fan perspective is going to predict a win here. I don't know.
Um,
What?
I wouldn't put it past Town to do it. We couldn't do it in the Wagner season. Did we draw? That's like one of the first times we got a point there for ages, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Maybe it will be a Christmas miracle, but I just yeah, it's just one of those places that you just resign to Town not winning anyway. I just I even with how bad they're playing at the moment though, I just don't think we'll be. I just don't think we'll be good enough. We just can't score, Brady. That's the be all and end all of it. Maybe we'll get a 0-0, but who are you seeing that's scoring for us at the moment? That's the problem.
Well, do you know who I was actually quite impressed by in a little cameo? And he didn't really do much. I thought Tyrese Simpson was quite good.
Hmm.
Basically because he bashed into people, and the knockdown he had for Rhodes, who missed, hit over the bar right at the end. That was actually really good. So I don't know, maybe I thought Radoni first half looked very lively. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know, like maybe I don't know what it looked like on the highlights, but there was just so many times where he'd beat a man, but no one was in the box, or it was just like Wardy and no one else, and it was almost like they were scared to commit. So I don't know, like we have been better defensively under Fotheringham, but I almost feel like maybe we should just go for it. We're not expected to win this. And I
Hmm.
know you want to kind of keep picking up points, but I don't know. Well, I don't know. How do you think the fan base would feel if like we went for it and lost 1-0, but like actually went for it and got like sucker punched? Or do you think we'd prefer,
Well,
like
if you
they
said
prefer
if
to
it
hang
was
on?
like Town had 20 shots and do you know what I mean? Town actually had
Yeah,
chances.
or like hit the post, or do you know what I mean? Yeah, and then
I
Preston
think
scored
I,
right at the death.
I think the fan base would be fine with that because then that'd be a sign to the board that if you want, do you know, if Town showed that they could come, and Town have showed, I actually think Town have showed against two of the probably best teams in the league recently that they can at least play against them. And if then they turned up against Preston and showed that they can create plenty of chances, they just need someone to finish them. And it was kind of down to right, if we can get someone in who's gonna if Town could get someone in who's going to score, what would you need? You need someone coming in who's going to score maybe 10 to 15 goals now for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the thing is that Town they're not gonna stump up the money for that kind of player, are they? Or you get lucky and you pick up someone who's maybe on a roll in League One or League Two. I think it's all about confidence as striker as well. You could look at someone lower down the league and take a punt and be like, just need you for half a season to keep that confidence going.
mm,
If you create chances for a striker who's confident, they're gonna put it away. I mean, it's the ability of putting the ball in the back of the net doesn't particularly change the further down the leagues you go. Do you know what I mean? Because if they're in the right place and they're on a roll putting it in the net, all they're doing is beating a keeper.
yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, though, yeah, no, it's a good point. I think it's just more like creating chances. I know every team in the league wants one, but like you just need someone to make it because I know Ward and Rhodes have gone a bit off boil, but they were scoring with the chances, and we weren't making loads. So I don't know. You just kind of need that. Well, basically what you'd hope Tino would be, which is like either creating chances or finishing them. So I don't know. We'll see. I think the thing that did catch me out, to go back to my bad stats, is which team in the league do you think concedes the first goal the most times this season in the league, in the Championship?
The first, who concedes first, the most?
Yeah.
And it's not Town?
It is Town. 64% of games.
Town.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Right. So 64% of their games, they concede the first goal. That's really bad, isn't it? And I think that's the thing. And this is, if they're going to get anything from this Preston game, they're going to have to score first. That's what the only time off the top of my head I can think they've actually come back from conceding is that QPR game, and that looks like a bit of a fluke, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Josh Ruffles turned into bloody prime Messi for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I know Fotheringham has improved them defensively compared to Schofield, but stats don't lie. If we're going to get anything, the most obvious thing to say, they need to keep a clean sheet to have any chance of doing anything. So, but yeah, let's talk about it. We normally talk about the key players here. Let's do that. I'll jump in first. I picked Alvaro Fernandez for Preston. He's the left back, left wing back. He's on loan from Manchester United. I remember the home defeat. He was causing us quite a bit of trouble. I think he should have scored. He was unmarked at the end. He's got 2 assists this season, and I think he's one of them where he's not got the numbers, but whenever I've kind of seen him, I've seen him a couple of games on the highlights, he looks dangerous. So I think he could cause us a bit of trouble if he's allowed the license to get forward, which you'd expect him to have. So one to watch out. Tom, who did you pick as the key man, or a player who caught your eye?
Well, I've gone for someone that weren't Town linked with him maybe quite a couple of seasons ago, and someone that the type of player that just maybe the experience that comes in and helps out a Championship team, and a team like Preston who have been in and around the middle of the pack for the last few seasons, and maybe this is the player that they've been missing just to take them that edge further this season. And I've gone with Robbie Brady, who has played in most of the games this season, and he's picked up about, I think it's 3 assists. And he's just someone who's going to come into a squad and just add that little bit extra experience and quality. Because he's a high-end Championship player, really, isn't he, I think? So yeah, that's mine. But they've just got a few decent players, haven't they? I quite like the goalkeeper as well. I think he's proving pretty decent for him. And then Ched Evans seems to have picked up a bit of form recently. And did he get 2 against Blackburn? Was it? Or
yes, he did. Yeah.
So I think, as we're mentioning, when a striker's on a roll, you've got to kind of keep an eye out there. But no goal against QPR, so maybe there's a positive.
Maybe. And I think we were quite linked with Robbie Brady, and purely I wanted that because my middle name's Robert. So Robbie Brady Robert.
Brady.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, when am I going to get an I don't get numbers and names on the back of shirts anymore because I am an adult man. But
I'm still hoping
Brady
Town
on the back.
On Bradshaw. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, Brady. I mean, if we did somehow come into a bit of money, buy Town, surely our first signings are Tom Bradshaw and Robbie Brady then.
Yeah, and do you know what? We were only doing that because we're, vain people. But actually, if you look at that, a bit of experience, they were not actually sensible.
Do you know what? Those two, imagine slotting those two into the Town team. Someone who scores now and again. I mean, he does score though in the Championship, and someone who is going to create. Bloody hell! And
mate, I'm trying to think who else we could sign.
they are sensible signings.
Yeah, maybe we should do a sensible transfers for Town. I mean, the
Yeah.
thing is, we can't. It's hard when the budget is zero, as Mark Fotheringham says. Be like Football Manager, where I like really low ball them, but the installments are ridiculous over 4 years. Right, let's take a break and then let's come back and do the mailbag. Okay. Well, you get a lot of letters at this time of year. Well, Santa does, but so do we, because it's time for the mailbag.
You've got mail.
Okay, Tom, we've got a couple of questions. Thanks to everyone who wrote in. Adam Kershaw asks, how do we get this side to make consistent chances in a game? Very good, a very good problem. I would recommend, not that they need the listeners, and they never do this for us, but the other podcast, David Hartrick was saying he thinks it's more a personnel problem than necessarily Fotheringham. As we touched on, I think we've improved defensively under Fotheringham, but we do look toothless in attack. So I kind of wonder, I mean, to be honest, like, I think we have to kind of go a bit more gung-ho. I know we talked about that stat earlier where we've, 64% of our games we concede first, but I almost wonder if we have to just try and go for it and go hell for leather. Because I think the thing is, we like that Watford game, we just get to the final third and like we don't know what to do, or there's not enough people. And I almost wonder if we've just got to kind of, I don't know, just commit a lot of men. And like if you get caught on the break, I know it's not great, but for me, weirdly, the best thing about this team, and this feels strange to say, is our defence, is our goalkeeper. The issue is they're under a lot of pressure because we're not scoring. So have like everything gets kind of put in a spotlight more. So that save has to count. That clearance means more because we're not creating any chances. And it's the same for the strikers when like that Rhodes chance, like Jordan Rhodes at the start of the season doesn't miss that, but like that's the only chance I can really think of we made all game. So I wonder if it's sacrificing that control, because I think first half we had a lot of control over Watford, and then obviously they came out second half and their quality makes a difference. But I think it could be that, like, just go for it. I mean, I think at the moment, because of the things going around at the club and like being bottom of the league, I think any defeat is going to be bad. But I think if they went for it, I'd rather they go for it and lose 2-1. But like they've just attacked as much as they can and committed a lot on them. Then I don't know, just lose like 1-0 or 2-0 and not really threaten. What do you think, Tom? How do you think you get this team making consistent chances?
I agree. I think it's getting bodies in the box, isn't it? It is getting bodies in the box, because ideally, and I think this is, I mean, look, I'm not a football manager, Brady. I'm not a tactician. But when the way Town tried to score at the moment is from balls into the box, isn't it? And it's most of the time it's out wide. Sometimes it starts to create from the middle, but most of the time it's either Sorba or your other fullback, a wing back, whatever, playing it in. And it always seems like maybe only Ward's in there and you've got a few dotted around the edge. So it's just a couple extra. Diarra, I mean, so last week it was Diarra and Rudonion, and those two should just be in that box in and around Ward. Because if it's going to drop down, someone's got to be there. I think that's it. Just flood the box, get them in. I think you're right. It'd be quite an interesting tactic that if Town came out and just that for the first 10 minutes just went, right, fuck it, we're gonna have 4 lads in the box every time the ball's coming in, kind of thing. Because for that first 10 minutes, players like Sorba and Ruffles should be fit enough for 10 minutes to be running up and down those flanks if a counter attack occurred and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm sounding like an idiot saying this, but if it was as simple as just getting in the box, you'd kind of hope they'd have figured that out by now.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like you say, we're not. I'm sure I know people aren't particularly happy with. Some people aren't happy with Fotheringham, but without like the window, we can't bring players in. So I think, and I still maybe this is me being a fool, but I still believe there are players who like a goal will do them a world of good. Like I feel Radoni is that player. If he gets a goal, I feel like he'll. His confidence will just be better. And a lot of it is confidence. And yeah, like, I think a lot of teams, again, the other podcast, Heart Trick, saying like, we're quite predictable. So, why don't you cause a bit of chaos? I think we're down there. Like, it's all good being better defensively, but we're still losing games.
I know stats don't say everything, do they? But Town had 15 shots against Watford. But the big one is they only had 2 on target, whereas Watford had 12 and 6 on target.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of that as well, Brady. I know not a few of the shots were kind of pot luck, take it from outside the box, and in reality, those only seem to go in when you're on a bit of a roll, kind of thing. Anyway, but it is that finishing in the final third as well. These lads are. We've got a very experienced couple of strikers who should be at least getting stuff on target when it falls to them as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like we'll come on to what you do for this game, but I'd be half tempted to start Simpson, like even if he can only last like a half or 60 minutes, because to be honest, like I think Wardy still doesn't look fit to me. Like Rhodes seems a bit. He's out of form, and I know it's again, we're not managers, but Simpson came on, he smashed into the centre back, and then he created that chance for Rhodes. And to be honest, like, why not? Why don't if he comes on, like, he's quicker, he's a bit of a his touch isn't the best, but he's a bit unpredictable, and if he comes on, he's a bit unpredictable and he smashes into people. You could bring Wardy on or Rhodes on, so. Yeah, why not? I don't know. We'll see, though. I think there's some serious. We need bodies in January, which leads on nicely to our next question, which is HTAFC Stan. He asks, "What positions do you think we need to strengthen in January?" I think we need a right back because of Turton. Yeah. I think Brody Spencer looks. He's asking a lot. There's a lot. I think that's the thing at the moment. We're asking a lot from young lads who've not really played. This feels a lot like Corberán's first season, actually, where he's having to pick young lads who've not really made a start. So I'd look at bringing in a right back. I think we touched on it there. We need that like number 10 type player, a chance creator. But they're not cheap, and they're few and far in between. And there's other teams in the division who are probably in a better position to sign that. I think the only way we could probably get that player is if we cut Tino's loan short, and try and get another Premier League loan in maybe, and then just need a striker. I know Fotheringham's talking about bringing in Kambiri. I don't know, his record doesn't look great, but I just think having different options at this point. So they're where I'd look at, like a right back midfielder and a creative midfielder and another striker. What about you, Tom?
No, I agree. I think you're spot on there, Brady. It's got to be a loan, hasn't it, that midfielder probably. But it's finding someone who's going to want to send someone out to bottom of the league. I mean, it would be quite a good experience being in a dogfight for maybe someone like that. But I think that's top of the list for me. Someone who's going to pick it up in the middle. Really, Jack Radoni should be doing this, but he just isn't at the moment.
He's asking a lot, though. He was in League One last season.
It is. But someone who's picking it up and creating from the middle. for me. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I know we talked about this a while ago. I would recall Scott High. I don't think he's that player, but I think he would. I think he'd be a good complement to the midfield.
Agree.
In some games, just because he brings a lot of energy, and I think, to be honest, I can see Fotheringham liking him because
I also
Carlos,
think, Brittany,
Carlos
right?
rated him.
I also think, and I'd recall Edmonds Green, even if they're not really playing at Rotherham and Wigan, but if Town somehow went on a little run and got up to the same points as Rotherham and Wigan, why are we giving them a couple of our players and they're in a relegation fight with us anyway?
We expected us. I imagine they expected us to be higher.
I know. Well, yeah, but it's like, right. Well, then recall them in January, because imagine if those players did something where the circumstances were like, oh yeah, high scores, Edmonds Green keeps clean sheet, whatever, and it affects Town's position in the league. It's just mad, isn't it? It's absolute madness.
Yeah, and to be honest, we talked about right back. Edmonds Green can play right back, you know. So yeah, actually, yeah, getting back, and then you can put more of that zero transfer budget into getting that number 10 and striker. Again, similar question. Ben, he asks, I understand we have limited money at the moment, but do you think the club are reluctant to let Fotheringham sign some of his own sort of players after a shaky start, hence him repeating the no funds in interviews? I mean, it's hard to say, and obviously, like, don't want to speculate like what's going on, because let's be honest, no one really knows what's happening behind the scenes. I just think, yeah, he's not had the best start, but you know, again, I'm talking about the other pod, but they reminded me Fotheringham's had so many injuries compared to Schofield. So I think he's done. I don't know, like, at this point, I feel like it's not even Fotheringham's the problem. Like, I think this kind of like any manager would be struggling to get out of this side. But I don't know if that's it, because, you know, we've talked about it a lot, but like, if Dean wants to sell the club, for me, if you're just looking at it from a pure business perspective, having a club in the Championship is going to get you more money than having a club in League One. Yeah. So I don't, and maybe the no funds is to kind of, we don't know, but possibly the no fund stuff in interviews is to maybe downplay it, because maybe there is some money available, but it's not going to be millions of pounds. So yeah, I have a feeling like that we will get players in January, because I don't know. I know you can't always apply logic to football, but like, if you want to sell the club, having a club in the Championship is going to make you more money. So surely it makes sense to put money in to do your best to make sure that they return status. I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
No, I agree with you. I just don't think. I don't think they're avoiding giving him funds, to be fair. I just don't think it's just not there at the moment, is it? I just don't think Dean's in that position to be throwing money at him. Maybe he just really I think he just don't want to do it anymore, does he? Be all and end all. So it is a really difficult situation at the moment. But I just don't. I don't know. If they don't trust Fotheringham with transfer funds, then he surely just wouldn't still be here anyway.
I think that's it. And like, you know, we've heard all sorts of rumours. Like, I know there was to be like at the Watford game, there was a couple of people behind me saying like, Fotheringham out, time to go. And I just, like, let's say the club did get rid of him, I don't know who comes in. Like, I really don't know who comes in. So it's just, I'm not trying to stick up for him, because to be honest, I don't know. Hand on heart, I don't know if he's a good manager or not. like I just think the circumstances are really difficult. So like I kind of think it's hard to judge him. You know, and let him. I don't know. Like it's like any manager, let him get his own players in and see what happens. You know, if we're going to stick with him, let him bring in his own players in January, and then you can judge him a bit better, can't you?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Okay. Nice and cheery. Let's move on to your other boss. So for the Preston game, Tom, what would your formation be? So the lineup at Watford, according to SofaScore, had it was 3-4-2-1. So it was Nichols, Lees, Hellick, Boyle, Big Boyley, Sorba, Hogg, Kamara, Ruffles, Diarra, Rodoni, and Ward. What would you go for this one?
I'd start Simpson. So I'm with you. I think they're bringing him in. I don't know if you'd start him as well, but I'd start him. I'd probably keep that pretty much the same, to be honest. I'm looking at who was on the bench before. Maybe Hayden in as a bit more. If we're going for like, oh yeah, let's attack from the off. Maybe Hayden in for Ruffles. I think so. They've kept. Is it 11 clean sheets this year, Brady? I think something like that. So this is a game where if Town, you said it earlier, Town need to score first to do anything. And it's going to be a 1-0 win, I think, if Town are going to win, kind of thing. So I think the kind of start really strong and then defend for us lives is a potential tactic for 3 points here if Town are going to get anything. But I think Simpson in, maybe Hayden in as well, but keep it same formation.
Nice. Okay. I'd probably tweak it a bit. I'd go 4-2-3-1 because I think Sorba was a little bit far back against Watford, which is understandable because they've got Watford have good players. I'd bring Kessler Hayden in. I get the feeling Fotheringham maybe doesn't, like, you know, he's been a bit reluctant to use him, but I think he's going to attack. And I think you're right. Like, if we're going to get anything from this, we've got to go for it. So my 4 would be Kessler Hayden, Lees, Hellick, Ruffles. Hogg, Kamara is the 2 because I thought Hogg played pretty well against Watford, and then my 3 would be Thomas, Diarra, and Rodoni, and I did put Ward down, but I think it just depends on Simpson's fitness. But maybe start him. You know, maybe Ward can come around, and to be honest, knowing he has 30 minutes for Wardy, or 45 or whatever, maybe that would mean he could channel his energy, because I just have a fit. He just still doesn't look fit to me. We heard about those niggles, and I just go for it. And to be honest, like, I know that's putting a lot on Diarra, kind of being the person in the middle, but he's a bit of a chaos, an agent of chaos. And I will say, actually, something that impressed me, and this is clearly he's been told this, was in the Watford game in the first half. Before the international break, I remember at Swansea in a couple of games, he beat a couple of people and then he'd have a shot when there was other better options. And I was impressed. Diarra would pass it and like lay off in right positions. So I think you got to give credit there. So that's what I'd go for anyway. 4-2-3-1. And score prediction, like I say, just a typical Town in it. Like, we're bottom of the league, would go to Preston, and I think like it's a horrendous season, but there's a weird quirk where we beat Preston. So I'm going to go 1-0. Just happens.
Yeah. I'd back that. It would be very Town, wouldn't it? Was it 53 years, did you say?
53 years, yeah.
So first win in 53 years would be this season, of course it would. 1-0. Simpson. Big Simpson bundles one over the line.
Nice. You just know if we do win on Boxing Day, it's going to be the scruffiest goal. Like, it's going to be like 2 Preston players on the the line and someone like kicks it in. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's take that. 1-0 win. Right. Tom, amazing elbow, or is there none?
No.
I can cut. Okay, that's fine.
After Christmas, it definitely will be. Yeah.
After Christmas. All right. He will return. Cool. Well, that's it then. So yeah, hopefully, you know, if you'll be listening to this maybe during the festivities or on the big day itself, hope you have a nice Christmas. Tom and I will be back to preview Rotherham, and ta for now. Oh, sorry, I should say this episode is sponsored by Magic Rock. You may have seen on our socials before, but we've got a little competition where you can win a pack of Town Lager. So do get involved. And yeah, thanks to Tom, thanks to you all for listening. Ta for now and up the town.
Up the town.
So Town, play up and bring the cup back to Huddersfield.